you ready now?
Sure.
All right, what's our intro?
Let's get ready.
Okay, give me that. Welcome to Faith-Filled Nerds, where two happily married nerds explore Christian symbolism, iconography, and theology within various fandoms.
Our goal is to pit them against the source and see how accurate or inaccurate they are.
I'm John Mark,
And I'm Michelle.
and we're here to explore Blizzard Entertainment's game series, Diablo.
Which was your pick?
Yeah, well,
I have never played Diablo.
10 episodes. This is our 10th episode, and we've yet to
Diablo means 10.
No, it does not. It means devil.
It's the Spanish word for 10.
No, that is. I know very little about the Spanish language, but I do know that is not correct.
Pretty sure I am wrong, so that's fine. I knew saying it was wrong. That's what everyone would know.
No, but this is a game series. Actually, the first time I played this was we had, when I was in tech school, we had somebody who we made a server for it, right? Mm-hmm. And somebody put the whole game on the server. And so while the teacher was lecturing, we were all playing Diablo, the first one, on this server, this hidden server that we had made.
I mean, you're using the skills
I guess.
learned?
I mean, we were, because we put all kinds of protective encryption behind it. We hid it in a subpartition so administration couldn't find it or anything. So yeah.
Okay.
It was a class project.
I've never done anything like that, so.
And I played Diablo 2 a little bit, and then Diablo 3 came out, and I got that pretty close to its
I remember
release.
you getting that.
And Diablo 3 I played a lot when Rowan was born, because he was very much a baby that wanted to be held.
Well, both our babies wanted to be held.
Yeah. And that was a game, because of the type of mouse I had, I could play the game completely one-handed.
Oh. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, so I played a lot of that. Wow.
It has pretty cutscenes. The trailers are really nice, but that's Blizzard.
Yeah.
That's really all I knew. I know I knew it had demons because its name is Diablo, and I know it's a dungeon crawl.
Yep, dungeon crawl.
And I know that there's an angel.
Yep.
I know there's more now that I've done my research, but before I knew there was a angel.
Yeah.
I knew there were angels. Yeah, Tyrael.
And
I knew that the humans... I don't actually know anything about the humans. I just knew there were humans. I didn't know if you played as a human or not.
Yeah, you play as a Nephilim. All humans are technically Nephilim or descendants from Nephilim, but
yeah, but you actually are a Nephilim, you actually are awakened.
Yeah, you actually have the power.
I have the power.
So interesting thing about this game is this was one of the first multiplayers on computer.
The third one or the first one?
The first one. They were all the way back in the first one, which was back in
Wait, they didn't have multiplayer back when the first one came out.
Yeah, back on dial-up.
On the internet.
How
old is this? When did that come out?
I want to say 97, 90, sometime in the 90s.
1998.
1998, okay.
Oh, well, 1997
was the first one.
Then Mac got 1998, and then PlayStation got it in 1998.
Yeah. What was interesting, because the reason I say this is because there was a neighbor kid who had this game, and he would get online with his friends, and like I said, this is back in the days of dial-up. So, yeah, this is also the birth of Battle.net for that particular reason. It also was a game that had a lot of controversy around it because
Diablo 3's on the Battle.net thing then?
Yeah. Battle.net's their online
All I've
service.
heard from Blizzard's Battle.net issues is that they only update Warcraft now, and Overwatch, and StarCraft, and Diablo's been left to the dust.
It has, kind of. I mean, they're still doing the
And that's what happens when you have too many hands in internet that constantly maintain servers instead of individual games that have a beginning and end.
Yeah. Heroes of the Storm, they're a MOBA, which was actually a lot of fun to play. Yeah, they're not making any new content for that.
Are they done with it already?
I think so, yeah.
They added stuff. That game, I didn't like it.
Yeah, I thought it was
I don't
fun.
like learning new concepts for games I'm already trying to get good at.
So let's kind of get into the lore.
Do you want me to try and tell you the lore from what I understood of the lore from listening to the videos once?
This should be interesting. As somebody who got most of their lore, now I'm going to be.
He knows more of the lore than I do. Yeah. I did a small crash course. And by the time I got to the 10th video of this crash course, I was like, I don't want to. Listen, there's just so many names and things being thrown at you. So if you are listening to this and you don't know what Diablo is or anything about it, you probably won't like this episode.
Well, you won't. If you're not going to learn the lore from us. We're just going to give a basic lore.
We're going to be confused.
Go over the things that we find applicable to what we're trying to say.
In the beginning, before there was anything, there was a new.
A new, yep.
And a new was basically like God, but not our God at all, because he had good and bad in him. And he was like, man, I hate all this junk in me. And so he like took it out of himself, which is a common theme you see in like Buddhists.
Yeah.
And other religions where it's like separation, that balance, the yin yang.
Yeah.
He onion yanged himself.
Onion yanged himself.
So he yanged and then threw a yin. And
I don't think you have those right, but sure.
Okay, he yenned and then he threw a yang. Whatever direction, it doesn't matter. But yin yang isn't necessarily good and bad. It's just light and dark or opposites or whatever. It's all about balance.
I think it's like passive and aggressive.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's not evil. Usually it's not just good and evil, like it's just about balance. Yeah. Which is what this game kind of, when I was kind of getting the picturing of, is once again, there's a lot of religious aspects to this game that take pieces from Christianity and stuff, but they totally disregard the idea of there being like, there's an end to it all, first off. Second, that's not, the power scales are completely uneven compared to what this game is, which is more even.
Yeah, it's very much that they like the names and stuff from Christianity, but the thing that is the core of Christianity, they're like, that's not gonna work for our narrative. Get it out of here.
I mean, Good Omens had the similar issues. They made it to everything's so balanced between heaven and hell. Whenever you have heaven and hell in any fan fiction, that's what it all is. It's all fan fiction, guys. I mean, any fiction, any kind of the inspiration from that, any kind of other body of a heavenly body and a hell, and it's not necessarily our heaven and hell, but it's always like they're even. And it's, I don't know. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, get this. He went on a cleansing diet and got rid of that.
Got some of those little feet things.
He forgot what his liver was for.
Yeah, he did a juice cleanse.
He did a juice cleanse, and out came a 7-headed dragon.
Which, like
you know, it was a hard pass, but he got it. So much fiber.
So much fiber.
And this was, I don't remember his name.
Taphomet.
Taphomet?
Taphomet, yeah.
He was the first evil, and now his heads represented like different evils. And
7-headed.
He had some heads were more powerful than other heads, because, I mean, I guess that's the one thing that got to have a power imbalance.
Yeah.
And so, and Anu was like, what are you? And he's like, rawr! And so they fought. And, I mean, he's like, I'm good, you're bad, we must fight, even though technically we're like, you're my weird cleanse baby. Anyway,
No, keep going, you're doing great!
They fought a lot.
Yep.
And then they killed each other.
So their battle
exploded each other.
They exploded each other. They
big banged.
Yeah, they big banged.
They exploded. Good audio for this setup. And their various parts became parts of the universe.
Yep.
And so, like, parts of Anu, like his eye?
Yeah, his eye became the world stone.
He had one eye.
Well, one of his eyes became the world stone.
Where's the other eye? So, see, obviously, we don't know what he really looked like. I know there was art for him, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No one knows. He was before everything was, right?
He was the Diamond Champion.
How can you be a champion if nothing else exists? Okay. Sorry.
Or no, Diamond Warrior, I think was Diamond Warrior.
I mean, I guess you're fighting yourself.
I guess,
like your poop baby. So, your dragon child. It was a terrible parent. Anyway, you okay?
Anyway,
so the stuff that Anu made became like angel, like the eye stuff birthed angels.
No, his spine became the crystal arch.
Oh, what's the eye?
The eye is the world stone. It's the thing that can reshape reality.
Oh, right.
That's important.
That's really important because that's like what they fight about the whole time.
Yep.
And then the spine. No, the spine was the dragon spine that became the hell stuff.
No, the crystal arch is what.
Oh yeah, because it's an arch because the spine bends.
Yeah, it's a crystal arch.
Does it actually look like a spine?
No, it's
That's stupid. I wish they were like these giant body parts.
No, yeah.
Just this giant backbone.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so the dragon pieces, each head became a demon.
Yep, and his corpse became the burning hells.
Yeah, like you do. He ate too much Taco Bell, and he became the burning hells.
Well, that's about right.
So yeah, and then so the hells, and they don't really know how it happens, but demons are made there, and then angels are made from the arch.
Spine, yeah, there's a
and there
arch.
only can be so many angels because each angel is a part of Anu's power. They get that each one represents how much he has a finite amount of resource. So that's only so many angels. Now for demons, I don't think there's the same issue.
No, they can just like poop those things out.
But the problem is
time.
like they're all different hierarchy where angels tend to be like there's archangels and then normal angels.
Yeah.
And then there was the world stone, and they could use it to make worlds, and when the angels made worlds, they made orderly worlds, and when the demons made worlds, they made chaotic worlds, and then they would fight on the worlds and destroy them, and it's this ever-ending cycle of war over who controlled the stone. They're like, wait, we gotta do something about this. Let's put a place where the stone has to stay. So they made a place called Pandemonium. I want to say like Pandora and Pandemonium together.
No.
I don't know why. Anyway, so they made this place, and they're like, yeah, so sometimes the demons would control it. They like fight and they'd push the angels out and they would control it. And then the angels would fight and they'd push them out and the angels would control it. And it didn't really work out what they wanted to do.
No.
Because demons don't follow rules.
No.
And angels are really bigoted, so it's fine.
And when either demons or angels die, they just
keep getting remade.
Yeah,
it's a power cycle.
Yeah, it never ends.
It's called the eternal conflict.
Yeah.
So after a while of this happening, there was an angel who was like best friends with another angel. Was he best friends with Tyrael?
Yeah, he was Tyrael's like lieutenant
or
something like that. Yeah.
He was a really good warrior, and finally he was like, man, this is pointless.
This sucks.
This is pointless. I mean, he's not wrong. It's completely pointless.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was like, he got captured.
Yep.
And all he kept complaining about the whole time was like, ugh, what's the point anymore? He was in like this teenage moment. Like, why did you create me? Why do I even exist? What am I going to, it's pointless. There's nothing to do because I just keep, whine.
A lot of My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, he was very, just whining. And Lilith, who was a demon, the queen of the succubi.
Yep.
Once again, a historical figure, mythological figure.
Yeah.
Turned into a character for this, was like, yeah, you're right, yo. I'm gonna let you go. And she was like, chink, and unlocked him.
Yep.
And he was like, man, thanks, that makes you really hot for letting me go. I think you're awesome. And she's like, cool, I think you're awesome. Let's steal the world stone. And he's like, what? Say what? Okay, sure. I don't know what his brain was. He's got Stockholm syndrome or something.
So yeah,
they steal the world stone somehow.
Yeah, epic case of Stockholm syndrome.
Also, like the world stone is like massive, right? I thought it was like this giant thing, and they like somehow get into
Pandemonium.
Panda. They get into Pandaland, and they steal the world stone without anybody noticing for a little while, and then like run off with it. And then Lila's family shows up to take over. Like, it's our turn to rule the world stone. All angels get out. Why are the angels running away? They're not even fighting us. Where'd the world stone go? It's just like, I bet I haven't seen your daughter around in a while. I bet she did it. Nah, she would never. And she did.
Yep.
Sorry. I remember the early stuff in this. I'm gonna get really bad later on. The early stuff was interesting, and then it just is like humans doing human things.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so they run off and they're like, we gotta hide it. So they literally built a world around the world stone.
Yep.
A realm and hid the realm somehow.
Yep. They called it Sanctuary.
And they called it Sanctuary. And they were alone. A whole bunch of angels like rebelled and went with them, and a whole bunch of demons rebelled and went with them. And they went there and they made this place, and they're like, man, now we don't have to fight in this eternal conflict anymore. We can just get along, and we have this whole world to ourselves. What are we going to do now? We don't know how to do anything else. And the obvious answer was to
make babies.
Make lots of babies. Because apparently, oh wait, angels in this world are made of sound.
There's sound and light.
It's a special tuning that has to get just right.
Yep.
And poof, an angel is born.
Yep.
Demons we don't know, but we know they're physical.
Yeah.
So the beings made of sound and light, and the physical demons got together and created the Nephilim.
Yep.
Because, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how that works. And, I mean, I know how it works, but anyway.
The angels sing a song and then they get pregnant.
Pop. Just pop, baby.
No.
There's some music that you listen to and you feel like you could get pregnant by it.
I've never had that experience.
I can't name any of it, but I feel like I've had that experience.
Can't say that it's been one of mine. For many reasons.
Oh, no. Where are we? Oh, so the Nephilim turned out to be like 4 billion times more powerful.
Yeah.
Because, duh. Like, obviously.
Yeah.
You're taking these two power sources that have these finite powers, right? And you're putting them together.
It's like in Dragon Ball Z, you know, the half-breed Saiyans end up being more powerful than the...
That doesn't actually make that much more sense. It makes that... Anyway.
No, it doesn't, but it's how they...
Yeah.
Because Gohan's technically has more potential than his father.
Oh, yeah, except that.
You never see it.
Anyway. And so they make the Nephilim, and the, what's the angel's name? Arturius?
And Darius.
And Darius? And Darius is like, whoa, these guys are way too powerful. And Lilith is like, yeah, it's perfect to make the conflict finally end. AKA, this is my plan all along, to make a super army and to go take out everybody else so that we can stop doing this endless cycle. She's not wrong. I was kind of like, okay, huh, I see ya. Maybe you're on to something here, except, you know, for the gratuitous amount of violence on both realms, but, you know.
Yeah.
It's a fighting game. And he's like, no. But he's like, I have to go think about this and what to do. Let me go to my thinking corner. And while he's in his thinking corner, Lilith's like, he's not killing my babies. And she kills everybody else. She kills all the demons, and she kills all the angels. I'm not sure why she killed the demons. They were probably scared of them.
They were also contemplating.
I just, like, do they have these creatures? Are they fully born, like fully grown when they're born? Are they actually infants? They're raising these Nephilim from children, and then they become adults, and they're just like, nah, these guys are too powerful. Time to euthanize them. Yeah. Like, what is happening? I want more context, please.
I don't know. I don't think we're ever gonna get more context.
I know, because it's like, this is like bajillion years before the games even start, guys. Yeah. I'm not going to go over. I'm just going over like the very beginning of how Sanctuary and where humans came from, and then
we'll go into
everything else kind of falls into place later. So what happened? Oh, what's his face comes back
from his thinking corner.
From his thinking corner and goes, "What have you done?" Because he didn't notice.
Yeah.
And banishes her to the realm of shadows, or realm of
to the void.
To the void. You know, like you do.
Well, because he couldn't kill her.
Yeah, because he still had the hots for her, so he couldn't kill her. And so he's like, "What do I do with these Nephilim? I don't really want to kill all of them. Also, I don't know if I can."
Yeah.
Because they're very powerful. And they actually had a son, and he was like, I don't know what he was doing in all this, but apparently he had no idea what was happening, because what were the Nephilim doing when everybody was getting murdered? Anyway, sorry, I have questions. So he was like, fine, I will make it where they will slowly lose their powers by, turning some knobs on the world stone.
Yeah, because there's knobs on the world stone.
As the Nephilim bred together, they slowly lost power.
Yeah.
Even though they're technically immortal?
Well, their immortality eventually would also wane away.
Oh, okay. Because I was like trying to confuse them. Like, well, they're immortal, but what it sounded like was their children would lose power. Anyway, so they slowly lost power and slowly became basically humans.
Yep.
So humans now in Sanctuary have the potential to have all this power, but currently have no access to it.
Right.
And then a whole bunch of other stuff happens. The demons find out the place is happening, so they secretly invade. And then he's like, oh no, let's make a church. So there's these two religions, and the religions are fighting. Lilith escapes, comes back, not brainwashes, but convinces some humans to start pushing out these religions so that she can get her Nephilim back, and it starts working for a little while, and then this one guy's like, gets mad at her when he finds out what she did, and he actually does awaken power later on, and then once his power awakens, he goes on a rampage destroying these two religions that one was basically worshiping the demons, and one was worshiping the angels, even though the angels didn't even know the place existed yet. And once that was all happening, the angels started pouring in. Once they were like in this final battle and pushed everybody out, Lilith had been banished again, And then right when they were going to be like realizing how powerful he was, the human guy was, he's like, oh no, if I keep going, I'm going to kill everything I care about.
Yep.
And he exploded himself.
Yep.
And basically vented. And the angels were like, whoa, that was a really selfless act. And that made the Council of Angels not kill all the humans.
Yep.
And just make them all forget everything. And thus, except for the mages, because apparently there was still magic in the world. Some mages didn't forget everything. Most mages did. Some did not forget about the demons and making deals with them. And so as time progressed, there were mage group, the world spanned from fluctuating between religions and mages. And eventually we released the game.
Yeah, the game.
The end. We're done. Wrap it up. We're out.
All right. So,
also, Lilith once again makes a return, and I'll remind everybody once again, she was a Babylonian demon/goddess thing, or not Babylonian. What was it? What did I say?
Well, she was
Persian.
She was originally a Sumerian.
Maybe Sumerian. She was, picked up around there. That's where her original stuff mostly comes from. And then her story is completely inconsistent. She was not the first wife of Adam. She's never been the first wife of Adam. She's not a feminist icon. Pick somebody better.
Okay.
Except for the mother of demons, please.
Yes. So,
all right, I give you my soapbox. You may speak now.
Okay. The Nephilim. This is actually one of those areas of debate within a lot of biblical scholars.
One thing. I'm sorry to interrupt. If you didn't understand anything I said because I talked too fast, you can actually slow down the podcast speed, but like a little bit from my whole long explanation because I was going very quickly. So if you really need to, you can just slow it down. Continue.
No, it was perfect the way it was. I'm gonna move here. Okay, so the concept of the Nephilim is something that actually is in the Bible and is something that's been debated amongst a lot of biblical scholars for years and years. The passage where you find them mention it, and I'm pretty sure it's only one of two.
We've talked about the Nephilim before.
I don't know if we have. We might have. It's in Genesis 5. There's also another reference in, I think, Exodus, but that's more of like them referencing this. And it's basically says Genesis 6. Sorry, my bad.
I'm just sitting here trying to think of other better biblical feminist icons. So continue.
Deborah, she like.
Oh yeah, Deborah's the most awesome.
Yeah, I was like, I can come up with one right off the top of my head.
I mean, Deborah, Esther, Ruth.
Yeah.
The sisters, Mary and Martha.
Any weasel. Genesis 6. We hear it's talking about the wickedness of the of mankind, and it says here. So in verse 2. Actually, it's verse 1. When humans began to increase in number on the earth, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. Then the Lord said, my spirit will not contend with humans forever, for they are mortals, and their days will be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in these days, and also afterwards, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children with them. They were heroes of old, men of renown. This is this passage here, especially the part where it says, the sons of God and the daughters of man.
Could that also be? I'm just gonna make some guesses, and then you could tell me.
Well, there's two major schools of thought on this.
Can I guess one?
Go for it.
The sons of God were the sons of Seth.
Yep.
And the other ones were the children of Cain.
Yeah, that's one school of thought.
Because there's that definite divide that God talks about early on, Blue.
Yeah. There's also the school of thought that the sons of God were angels, and the daughters of man were humans. There's argument and evidence on both sides. I
think one of the biggest issues I have with that is we just don't know enough about angels.
Yeah.
We don't know what they're made of. We don't know what they were like, because they, as far as we thought, did they ever have free will? Do they have free will?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of complicated because we know that there were angels who have defied God to be cast out, right?
Yes.
Whether or not, because we've talked about the devil and the Satan and all of that, and how it might be more complicated than just Lucifer and all of that. But it's just kind of like, I mean, you can tell me your schools of thought, but like in the end, there's just not enough information. And
I think that is you hear that's a feature, not a glitch.
Yeah.
I think that's what this is. I don't think we're given more information about angels because it's not important.
We're also not given a lot of information on demons. Like, we know that they possess people. We know like they want to cause harm.
Yes.
Like, they have this innate nature. They're evil. They want to cause harm. I don't know if they necessarily, I think humans are perfectly capable of tempting ourselves into sin, but I do believe demons help. I just don't think it's always a demon tempting you. I think we're perfectly capable of sin without the help of a demon. But
but it could also be, that extra little,
No, I'm not saying they don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I just don't think everything is demonic, but I also think demonic stuff definitely is still present today.
Yeah.
But I just think there's not enough. It's so hard because it's something I'm super interested in. I'm super interested in how the angels work, the hierarchy of angels, if they have one. How does that work? And
I think that's the point there. Like, my mom and I were talking about this, and she pointed out that, there are some things that we're not given the information because there's a good chance that we could, we'd lose sight of the creator and start looking towards the creation. Because you
like
see
worshiping angels or something.
Yeah, you already see it like there's a big movement, a big angel, partly because of that show, Touched by an Angel.
Yeah. That's a great show.
It's a great show, but there's also like a big, focusing on angels because there's all these like...
I mean, we do have some angel names.
We have, in the Protestant canon, we have two.
Yes.
We have Gabriel and Michael. Now, in the other canons, we get more names. I think in some of the Apocrypha, we've Raphael, he was an angel.
Oh, yeah.
There is...
There's a whole bunch. There's actually a lot.
Azrael, I think.
Azrael is a pretty common one. Seraphil. No, I think that's just good omens.
That's just good omens. Although
we'll do that one sometime.
Yes.
I just have to be in the mood to rewatch.
So I think, like I said, I think that it's one of those things where we're given stuff that's important, and angels are they're messengers. They're people.
Well, there's an army of angels in heaven. Yeah. I'm not sure why God needs an army of angels, but He has one.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if God goes to war, you're losing. Like, whoever, But I remember a lot of that discussion in college. High school, I was me, so I discussed it with myself, and because I was homeschooled. But and in college, I actually got to have less of an echo chamber.
Yeah.
So this game took a lot of inspiration. The game, I'm trying to connect things here.
Yeah.
Took some good inspiration by having the angels not made of material things.
Yep.
I think that's kind of fun. We don't know what angels are made of, biblically. We don't know what God made them out of.
Well, they're
when God made them, how He made them. Yeah. Are they pure spirit?
Yeah.
Are they made of light? We don't know.
Yeah.
So, like, this kind of having the angels here be made of sound which
and light,
harkens back to the biblical God speaking things into existence, which also not harkens back all the way back, but like whenever anyone talks about sound and how God uses words to make things, I always think of The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, or, well, Narnia, but the first one, what's the name of it? Something.
Magician's Nephew?
Yeah, The Magician's Nephew. Sorry, my brain was like The Apprentice. I kept trying to make it The Apprentice, and that was how you see Aslan make the world, and he roars it into existence. He scenes it into existence.
Yeah.
And because
same with Lord of the Rings. Iluvatar and his angels sang the world into existence.
So, like, I definitely like that kind of connection there.
Yep. And we do still have this kind of thing. It's clear that whatever these Nephilim were,
Are we also going to talk about the high church? I'm just seeing what time we're at. Okay.
I wasn't going to.
Okay, that's fine.
Unless you want to.
Well, I was going to touch on it.
Okay.
So when you see them in game, those churches, they're definitely Catholic churches.
Oh, they're very Catholic. But that's literally the
everything's fine. Nothing bad about happened.
But anytime that you see in fantasy games, like even if you see like D&D, like their churches are always very Catholic.
The temples that will take place on other wow. I'm that kid from Reading Rainbow. Have you ever had a dream where you did and then you would sorry, that kid. Some of the temples will look more like Greeky and stuff depending on where you are in the world. The reason they are in D&D cathedral-like is because if you're in part of the D&D setting that is more medieval, it's going to be Catholic-looking.
Yeah. But a lot of those things have that Catholic look to them, like the cathedral. But
well, even the Angel's Realm is very ethereal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is not necessarily biblical as much as just...
Yeah, it's got that it's got the very gold and stuff like that.
My favorite angel is the one of mercy.
Yeah. Yeah, she's pretty cool. I can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name, but she fights with a rope, like a cloth, but like a rope cloth. Yep. And she can wrap it around you and it heals you and helps you. Wraps it around enemies and it hurts them. Yeah. It's cool. She fights with a blanket. A big comfort blanket.
You save her in the third game.
You save her? Cool.
Yep. So Nephilim, I seem to remember reading somewhere that even the word it means like hero or giant or something like that. So but anyways,
it's seraphim that means serpent.
Yes.
Okay. Who surrounds God's throne? Was it Nephilim or seraphim?
It was the you have the cherubim. Cherubim. Yeah, cherubim.
So it's definitely different types of angels.
Oh yeah, because like the guy, the humanoid with the wings, that's not the ones with wings are the cherubim that have like lion head and like all these animals.
The eyes, yeah, and then the ones you can't even see animal parts because they're just covering everything up.
With their wings because they got like.
And then there's eyeballs all over their wings. Look, heaven is scary. It's not really. It's going to be a very comforting place, I'm sure. But when we see heaven, when we are sinful beings of human mortality, and you see heaven and you got to comprehend it from your fallen place and brain.
Well, just
Heaven's scary, yo.
Like you've got a physical mindset and you're seeing something that's not physical.
I know, that's why I always think the Book of Revelations is fascinating because it's literally. John's just like, I don't know. And he's just writing. Just like, it looked like this, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, he's literally he's seen things in the future that he had zero context.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the whole time he's just like, I'm just gonna need some more wine.
Yeah, like right now, I want you to imagine something you can't imagine and then try to write that down.
Yeah, basically.
Like that, he's seen things that no one from his time has ever seen.
Everything in Revelation with it. So this is super, okay.
Well, it's symbolism, but it's also like you can get so bogged down with the symbolism, and people do, and there are people that fight over the symbolism.
When you think about it, so there's eternal war with this game, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of Revelation and feeling.
Yeah.
It's because it kind of feels like we're always in an eternal war right now.
Yeah.
Yes, God has talked about he will, come.
There's an end.
There'll be an end. But right now, it's been a while since Jesus was here.
Yep.
Physically. And so it does feel like it's this endless, we have children, we teach our children as best we can, we let them make their own choices in life, and we try and hope they make good choices, and we support them, and then, and they fail because we failed and they fail. It's just a cycle of failure. And then, there's grace and love and all that. But in the end, it just feels like it's this one after the other.
Yeah.
Except that, we're slowly killing the planet. But other than that,
yeah. So
you want revelations? This is how we get revelations.
Right. So that's kind of the Nephilim, and honestly, the end thing that I have for that is we don't know, and I don't think we're going to know.
Yeah. Well, biblically, we don't know what the Nephilim really were.
Now, in the
game, we know.
Yeah.
We are the Nephilim.
Yeah. In extra biblical texts, they expand upon that. Like in the Book of Enoch, you actually have the Gogori.
Yeah, the Book of Enoch, we always talk about the Book of Enoch because it's just a ride, yo.
It is such a ride. It's such a
ride. Actually, there's several books. I know there's another book. That's
actually, I have that here in my notes. So let's actually get into, because we'll talk about it here.
The primevals.
The primevals and the lesser evils. So these are the big demon lord guys
some of this
that
coming back into pagan culture.
Yeah, that you actually see in the game. The first one that I've got here on my list is Baal, Lord of Destruction. He is, I think he's the oldest of the primevals, if I remember correctly. So his name's Baal, but if you want to know where the name kind of comes from, it comes from the
he's Babylonian.
Babylonian.
Yes.
Well, kind of.
Oh.
So you would actually pronounce it Baal.
Baal.
Because there's like a weird pause in there.
Baal.
And it was actually Baal. The word Baal was
a. Come back into. There's neo-paganism has really kind of dug up some of these old things, and then they're like, we repurpose it now. So I'm trying.
Well, if you're going to, if
I mean that with as much love as possible to the one person I know who will listen to our stuff.
Yeah. If
who is not Christian.
Yeah, if you're looking at Baal, here's the thing about it. The word itself is actually a title. It's an honorific. It means owner or lord. And it comes from, that word comes from the, it's basically Samaritan, or Sumerian. Not Samaritan, Sumerian. Samaritans, and those are two different things. It was something that would be put in the front of different names. In most cases, though, when people are talking about Baal, especially in the Bible, what they're talking about is it's most commonly associated with a storm and fertility god by the name of Hadad.
That sounds right.
Hadad.
Sounds Middle Eastern.
And he was...
I'm an expert.
Yeah,
sorry. I am not. I was a joke.
Yeah, he was a primary god of the Babylonians.
Yeah, apparently I'm reading some stuff on him right now, so.
The word itself, Baal, appears over 90 times in the Hebrew Bible. Mm-hmm. And one of the largest uses in that is actually the story in First Kings.
I remember, yeah.
Where we talk, Jezebel, the wife of...
Jezebel, you're a Jezebel.
Yeah. King Ahab.
Get away from me, Jezebel. Sorry.
Yeah.
The things people say.
And he was, Jezebel was trying to introduce the worship of Baal into the Israelite culture.
It's Canaanites.
Yeah. It's the Babylonians were considered a Canaanite.
Oh, okay.
Or Canaanite.
He was a fertility god, the bringer of rain, the prince of peace, and the defender of the people.
Yep. Now...
Is that what you found?
I didn't put that down here, but that's literally what I found.
I'm just saying, not every single... I think Baal worship probably did degrade to some terrible things, obviously. But I want to point... I just want to say, just because they worship a pagan god doesn't mean every single pagan god was baby sacrificing. There were aspects to the god that were helpful. And they thought were helpful. They thought were good. They thought, they're good. Being a defender of the people and the Prince of Peace and the bringer of rain. These are good qualities, right? I'm just saying, not every single pagan god has to be resorted down to, well, it's because they killed babies.
Well, this one did.
I know.
One, the Bible's pretty clear on what they were doing.
But that's what he became later on.
Yeah. Because
I think this is important. Mm-hmm. And this is what makes God's rules and religions, his commands, his laws different from these other gods.
Yep.
These other gods' rules could change, and no one could correct them.
Yeah, because
there wasn't a god coming and going, you're wrong, because there were other gods to come in and correct people, so anyone could change anything over time, usually. So I think that's kind of a difference here. I want to be as respectful as I want to be to other people's beliefs. I think you got to remember that this podcast, we are Christians, and we do view our religion as the one. It's the one, guys. It is. I truly believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, and God is the only God, and everything else is a sham.
Yeah,
sorry, but that's just what I believe, and I do believe you have the right to make your own choices when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And that's free will, and that's all I'll say to that. Sorry. I just want to say, I don't want to sit here and hound on every single pagan god. Yeah. I just want to remind people that from our belief and what I truly believe in, your pagan god has gone through many, many changes.
Yep.
But mine has not.
It's true.
So,
what's interesting about this particular deity is this one lends us one of my favorite stories in the Bible, which was the showdown between Elijah.
The fat one? No, where the guy gets stabbed. The really fat.
No. No, this is the showdown between Elijah and the prophets of Baal
on the mountain.
Yeah,
the one they used in children's stories, and then they leave out that part where everybody dies.
Yeah, because that happened. Where basically they have a showdown. We're like, all right, look, I'll tell you what. If we'll put up an altar, we'll put the sacrifice on the altar. Two altars. We'll put sacrifices on there, but we won't light them on fire. And whichever God is able to, bring down fire to light the sacrifice, that's the real one. That's the one you'll serve. And so the prophets of Baal, they start doing their thing.
Yeah.
And the whole time, Elijah is mocking them. Is like, maybe you guys should like.
I mean, Elijah's
speak
just
up.
Tired of their crap by then, anyway.
To be fair, they did like chase him into the mountains, and he had to live there off of like bugs and stuff. So
I get the mix up between Elijah and
Elisha. Elisha was his
I know.
apprentice.
Was Elijah the one with the bones that got up out of the ground, or was it Elisha?
I think it was
or was
Elijah.
It neither of them.
It was Elijah.
Okay.
So he's mocking him. He's like, hey, maybe you should speak up a little bit. Your God might be asleep or using the bathroom or something. You got to do it louder, guys. Come on. And finally, their time is up. And then Elijah,
he give him 3 chances or something.
Yeah. Then Elijah further flexes by being like, all right, what I want you to do is I want you to take all this water. I want you to dump it on the on the altar, so it's just completely saturated.
Yeah.
And then he makes one prayer, and then fire comes down, consumes the altar, the sacrifice, and all of the water.
Yep. It's just bam.
He's gone.
Did he not even pray that loud? Didn't he? Was just a little prayer. And
yep. Little prayer. Boom.
Boom. And then he was like, haha, I'm right. Everybody kills them.
Yeah.
And they did. And the priests of Baal died.
Now, interesting thing about the title, the word Baal, it's also where we get the word Beelzebub.
That makes sense.
Because it's actually Baal-zebub.
I know why they've decided not to let the devil have that for his name. It's a way cooler name. He'd be way cooler.
Yeah, well, it means Lord of the Flies. And it's literally...
Yes!
Yeah, it's actually a insult.
That book got a lot weirder.
Yeah, because the pighead starts talking to the kid.
Oh, yeah!
Remember? Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie ever, actually.
It was in the book and in the movie, and the movie was freaky because it's a pighead, and there's flies all over it, and it starts talking to the kid. That was a weird book.
Sidetracked.
But it means Lord of the Flies. It's oftentimes a name given to the Satan. And it was actually a Philistine god
I think that's how you say it from now
on. Beelzebub.
Beelzebub.
So Lord. And actually, even the name was probably not his original name. It was just recorded as Beelzebub because it was basically them saying he was the Lord of Excrement.
So, I have a very important question. Who is he in the video game?
There is, not...
I know.
There is a Beelzebub in the video game.
Baal. We haven't talked about Baal, who he is in the game.
Oh, in the game? He's the Lord of Destruction.
He is one of the heads.
Yeah, he's one of the heads.
One of the poop heads.
Yes,
which makes sense. One of the dragon heads became Beelzebub.
Yep.
Not Beelzebub. Baal. They don't call him Baal, they call him Baal. And he's the big brother. He's the smartest, correct?
Yeah.
This one? It's not Mephisto. Is it Mephisto who's the smartest? Who's the big brother?
I think Baal's the big brother, but Mephisto's
No, Baal's also the schemer.
No.
Whoever was the first was also the schemer.
Then it was Mephisto.
Just watched these.
There was Mephisto. It was this.
Okay, so Mephisto was the first. That makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, Baal.
Mephisto's also Lilith's daddy.
Papa. Yep. Papa.
Yeah, Lord of Hate. Yep, that makes sense.
So yeah,
I could be wrong. No, I gotta check. Hold on.
He's the Lord of Destruction, and I can't remember which game you
three
actually...
brothers, and they were the triad, and they also put that fake religion in to the world, and they made it sound like a really good... Like, they lied and were like, if you worship this religion, all these good things will happen to you. Yeah, and really it's just to get possession and get grips into... Because they wanted to control Sanctuary before the angels found it.
Yep. They were trying to be all sneaky-deaky about it. while you're looking that up,
Mephisto, the oldest of three brothers.
Yep.
Father of Lilith and Lucian. Arguably the most intelligent and cunning demon in existence.
Yep, I thought it was Mephisto.
So you have him in the wrong order.
I do have him in the wrong order. That's my bad. Anyway, so Mephisto, Lord of Hate. He's the one who's, like you said, the most cunning out of the primevals. His name is pretty easy to parse.
Spirit of Love. Why does it say Spirit of Love on there?
Because that's who he that church you were talking about. That's what that was his disguise.
His opposite was. It's kind of like the opposite.
They literally went with the opposite. Yeah, they went with the opposite of what
Lord
they were.
of Terror, Spirit of Determination.
Yep.
So bravery.
Yep.
Lord of Destruction, Creation. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they literally.
You boys, you crafty boys.
They literally
These
inversed
crafty boys.
So
can fit so much in this fake church.
So Mephisto.
Flop the hood.
Yeah, so Mephisto. Pretty easy to parse where that one comes from.
That's the Bible. No, not the Bible. The story of
Faustus. And apparently I found out that that particular character was based off of a historical, an actual person, a historical person. Joanne Faustus.
Can I talk about how we were going to do a play for Faustus?
Yep.
For homeschools, and then the parents realized it was about selling your soul, and they were
like, no.
Man, it was Mr. Yordi. Mr. Yordi, you had such high dreams.
Yeah.
You were such a theater man, and you were trying to do it with a bunch of homeschool scrubs. Yeah. I apologize. I was on board. My family was on board because we were all musicians and musical people. But you forgot to take into account the extreme conservatism.
Yeah. So the historical Faust, he was an alchemist, astrologer, and musician in of the German Renaissance.
There's 2 parts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had to read that in theater class.
Excuse me.
And in that one, Mephistopheles acts as like a middleman between Faustus and the devil. So he's not even like the actual devil.
Mephistopheles makes a bet with God. Apparently, Faust was God's favorite human.
Yeah, it was a weird play.
What was this written?
This is a real weird play. Finally, of the primevals, we have Diablo, Lord of Terror, the namesake of this game.
1790.
Yeah. And he's actually the least of the primevals, or at least the youngest. Why he got the name
Diablo?
Yeah, why he got the game.
Baby brother. Because he's kind of make up for being the youngest.
Yeah, it's like the baby brother gets everything. It's always either the oldest or the youngest that gets all the cool stuff.
Father of Leah? Who's Leah?
It's I don't know.
Clicking.
Okay.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Wait!
The main character from, or one of the characters from Diablo 3.
Wait! She has demon blood?
Yeah.
She looks pretty cool.
She also gets possessed by Diablo and dies because of it. That's how the game ends.
He's such a terrible father.
He's a bad dad.
They're all terrible fathers.
They're all bad dads.
I mean, you can...
They're all bad dads.
They're all bad dads. You just spoiled that game hard.
Yeah, oh yeah, spoiler alert, I guess. Alright, now we're on to the lesser evils. We've got Asmodan, who is the Lord of Sin. His name is probably based off of the name Asmodeus, who is not just the Lord of the Nine Hells from D&D, but he is also a name in some of the other canon books. Specifically, his name is mentioned in the book of Torbit. Mm-hmm. Which is part of both the Catholic and the Orthodox canon. His name is believed to be derived from Avestian. I guess it's a language word. Asmo Deva. Okay. Asmodeva, which means Asmo means wrath. Deva means approximately means demon. So basically, his name means demon of wrath.
Okay.
There's a story.
I love the name Asmodeus.
Yeah. There's a story in the book of Tobit.
Let's name our next child Asmodeus.
Let's not. There's a.
If I named every child I had, 2 of them, after saints I liked, they would not be very good.
No, they would not. There's a story in the book of Tobit about.
Tobit!
Yep, about a guy.
Asmodeus plagues.
Yeah, plagues Sarah.
Sarah, Raguel's daughter. Tobit 613 slay 7 successive husbands on their wedding nights. Wow, rude.
Yeah.
So, like, 7 different people tried to marry her?
And Asmodeus
and he would kill them?
Yep. He kept killing them.
You think they stopped trying to marry her after, like, the first 2?
Yeah, no, she was apparently hot.
She's really hot, guys. And great personality.
And the story, Asmodeus
is just one of the demon, albeit referred to as the worst of the demons. When the young Tobias is about to marry Sarah, the angel Raphael helps him drive the demon off. Tobit is a Bible book?
It's in the Orthodox and the Catholic canon.
I've looked through a Catholic book. It's really fun. The Bible, they got like this whole section that's a different color than the rest to let you know that this is their canon and not. It's kind of interesting how they mark it.
Yeah.
Just to say, hey, you can read this if you want. I don't know why. That's just what they do. So they named him after that.
Yeah, they named him after, and not like I said,
Lord of Sin.
Like not just him, but he's also Asmodeus is in a lot of other things. Like I said, specifically D&D. Then we've got Belial, who is the Lord of Lies. This is yet another name that's sometimes attributed to the Satan. The etymology of this word comes from the Hebrew root belai, which means without, and Yael, which means value.
We need to do an episode where I just go exploring through the wiki.
Yeah.
And when we look up stuff.
Just looking up stuff like that.
Like, what is this? What is this from? Because I was looking at Leah's stuff and I was like, well, who's her mom then? Apparently her mom was a former human turned demon. Apparently they can do that.
Yeah. No, you find that in the game if you play the game. You fight her at
Witch, formerly blood
Spoiler
demon, leader of the coven, which is Tristan, formerly servant of Diablo.
Yep.
She is deceased. But she's a demon, so she's not deceased.
Okay,
so that's a question I have. So there's these staple demons, correct? That can get killed, but then they go back, right?
Yep.
But then there's like all the little grunt demons.
Yep.
Do they get reincarnated back into grunt demons?
Yep.
So like, would this lady come back?
Yeah, she could come back. It's pretty clever.
Could Leah come back?
No, because she wasn't a demon. She's possessed by a demon.
Okay, but her mom became a demon.
Right.
Why couldn't she become a demon?
Because she didn't. She just got possessed by one. But she's still human.
Was she, when she was born, was her mother still human when she was born and then she became...
Yes.
Hey guys, you should go to the Diablo wiki and just like find something like a character and then just start clicking like relations, like they're like, hey, they're affiliated with this person. I don't know who that is. And then just read that and then click again and just go on an adventure.
Yeah.
Because I'm just now like, I'm gone. Goodbye.
All right.
Finish the episode without me.
Pay attention, but we're almost done here.
It's a witch follower.
So, anyway, so Belial, it comes from
Belial.
It comes from 2 root Hebrew words. Belai.
Every time I think how a demon would introduce itself, okay?
Huh.
Belial.
Actually, you're not all that far off.
You think it's how demons talk?
I think that's how he introduces himself, yeah.
Okay. I didn't mean in the game. I just meant, like, if he was a real demon.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's a Lord of Lies. He's big on illusions.
I'm Belial. I never lie.
He's big on, like, shape-shifting and...
I look amazing.
All
look
kinds
at me. I'm totally good and not lying at all. Yeah. That's my Belial impression.
It's not
Hello.
That His boss fight was a pain in the butt because you fight him and he's like this massive demon thing, and he keeps like destroying parts of the area that you're supposed to fight on.
A naughty person? His name means a naughty person?
Yeah.
I'm Belial. Someone like sits there and looks at him and thinks about it like, a naughty person? Please don't talk about me like that.
So the root words Belai, which means without, and Ya'al, which means of value. Okay. So basically, it means without value or worthless.
Worthless.
And in Proverbs 6,
when
12.
Your name's a sick burn on yourself.
Yeah. In Proverbs 6, 12, the word, the phrase Adam Bel Ya'al is
as used, a naughty person.
Yeah, is translated in the King James to a naughty person or a person.
Naughty.
Yeah, a person who's.
I'd be naughty.
Who's.
You ever watched the episode of Naughty?
Yeah, stop that. And in
sons of Belial, referring to their wickedness.
Yeah, I'm not going to read this because this particular, if you want to go read Judges 19 verse 22 and on, or just all of Judges 19, it's a rough read because there is some pretty graphic stuff in it. There's a lot of graphic stuff in...
Judges is very violent.
In Judges, yes. Okay. So Belial is a word that's associated with the Satan, usually as kind of, like you say, calling him worthless, or it's also used, the word Belial is also used in Hebrew to denote someone's wickedness or misdeeds, as it were. Going down to...
Are we going over all of them?
Well, we're very close here.
I'll read it.
Well, actually...
Andriel, Maiden of Anguish.
Yeah, we don't actually have any...
This name may have been an original one, though much of her demeanor and how she operated were likely inspired by Lilith, even though Lilith is one of the demons in the game.
Yep.
But I could not find information to corroborate this.
Yeah. So
it looks like a term of an angel's name.
Yeah.
Doriel.
Yeah. So this one was kind of messed up.
Andriel and Doriel kind of sound.
Andriel is probably one of the originals, but like I said, a lot of her stuff is probably based off Lilith. Doriel is also one that I couldn't find any biblical correlation to. But here's the weird thing: it's Doriel is actually a popular Hebrew name, and it means God is in my home. So that's a thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why they named that to be a demon.
They probably just thought it rhymed with Andriel because they're siblings, aren't they?
I believe so, yeah.
Siblings. As much as they're all siblings. They're all part of the heads.
Yeah. So Andriel is the maiden of anguish. She likes to torture people. And Doriel is the lord of pain, which those are the same.
I feel like... I also...
whatever.
Anyway. Yeah.
They ran out of ideas at the end.
Anguish is different than pain.
I suppose, yeah. But they kind of ran out of ideas at the end
deep
there.
Grief, deep suffering in a different way.
Oops,
you can suffer without being in pain.
I keep hitting... You might have to say that again, because I keep hitting the desk.
You can suffer without being in pain.
Yeah.
So, right now.
But all in all...
I suffer deeply.
What I guess the thing I would take away from Diablo, or the game, is I personally find it a fun game to play. It's not for everybody. Dungeon crawlers.
Dungeon crawler.
Yeah, dungeon crawls are not for everyone.
I'm a Stardew Valley and
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, which there's deep religious tones to Animal Crossing.
I'm sure.
So that's the next episode. The Church of Nook.
Oh no, that would be an episode if we did like a financial podcast. That would be what that one's on.
It's game theory. Church of Nook.
Yeah. Sure.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I think that's copyrighted. Hold on.
Yeah, it is copyrighted. Trademarked, actually, is the word. But, like I said, I like it. I do know that the game definitely, at least the first two, sparked, some minor controversies, partly because the indicator to select your, if you were going to play a new game or continue or anything, was floating pentagrams.
Yeah.
So that probably didn't do...
I mean, you're literally going into hell and fighting demons, right?
Yeah.
So it's...
It's also a very dark game.
You're beating hell?
Yeah, it's also a very dark game. So it's not one that I would really recommend for everyone. Keep in mind when you play it that... a lot of the mythology that they've created, they just took names from the Bible, and that's about it.
It's its own unique fictional world that has biblical inspirations, but it also has other religious inspirations. Like some of the humans later on, they feel very Buddhist, they feel very Eastern, they feel very Middle Eastern.
Well, there's a straight up...
Kazakhstan, whatever that place is, literally it's like the cradle of civilization, which is the Middle East.
Yep.
And is it Middle East or is it Africa? It's Middle East.
Oh, yeah.
My brain just blipped out there. It's gone. It's back. Anyway, I think anything you consume, you must consume
with a filter.
With a filter, and to make sure, hey, is this tempting me? Is this testing me in ways? And if it is testing you in a way where you're asking important questions about your faith or what you believe, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with going, I'm not sure about this. Let me look into that. It's David questioned his faith. Yeah. Everyone has those moments.
Yep.
I think it's very sad if we say you can never falter.
Yeah.
It's okay to go, hey, God, I don't get this.
Yeah. So I think that's important. I was just telling a friend that I think it's important. It's an important part of us learning more about God is to question, hey, God, why?
I think games can oftentimes do that.
Yes.
There's a lot of heavy story in this game, apparently, that you don't even get when you play the game.
Yeah, you get it from like little lore snippets.
Little lore snippets. There's some books, apparently.
Yep. There's also a comic.
I'm sure. And
art's pretty good.
I kind of want to do Dark Souls lore sometime. I hear that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know how biblical that all is.
Not right.
But Bloodborne might be more biblical.
Might be. But it's very much of a if you feel something saying that this is not something I should be consuming, then don't. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because sometimes God will say, "Hey, I don't want you doing this thing," and those things can be perfectly innocent.
It's like alcohol or other things that people enjoy that aren't necessarily sinful, but can become sinful, and so you decide not to. Like consuming things that have demon propaganda in it, demonic things in it that feel demonic to you. They're not necessarily demonic, but have like demon names, like Diablo and all those other Mephisto, and then they have this very graphic world setting and stuff like that. Dealing with heavy
dark
themes. It's not for everybody, and if you can't filter it, or if it's testing you, or it's harmful, then definitely and people need to respect that.
But I think it's also important for those people that are playing games that have these things is to understand where these things are coming from, and that also kind of gets you to understand that this is this is a game where they took a bunch of names that they heard, slapped them in there, and they wanted to do a fantasy. I think they did some
research.
Maybe a little.
It's too complicated. Okay, they've had to do your research. It's too complicated of a story not to do your research.
I suppose.
But, I mean, Mephisto is so, you would have to be, think about, well, why would we name this one Mephisto? Why would we name Diablo and give him this title? Why would we? Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's important. You're right. I think it's probably fine to consume these things if you feel your heart's in the place for it.
Yeah.
Also, because it could make you go, I wonder what that means, and lead you on an educational journey to, hey, where did that name come from? Well, it comes from the Bible, and here it's mentioned. It's come from this culture, and then you suddenly are exposing yourself to biblical things you never thought about before, and strengthening your biblical knowledge as well as perhaps your faith. So, yeah.
But also, it's important, the Bible does tell us to be cautious.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, be cautious of what we consume. So, like I said, I like the game. It's not for everybody. That's about it.
And it's not because I don't. And it's really not the game's lore that's bad for me. It's just not my style of gaming.
Yeah, you just don't because you didn't even like Torchlight.
I don't like Torchlight, no.
And that one.
You've tried.
I've tried.
He's tried.
I've tried to get her.
It's just not my style.
She's not. I like the.
I don't like the endlessness.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's why I lost my interest in Warcraft. Yeah. You probably could do everything, but then it's still kind of endless.
Yeah.
And I know that's some people's jam. It's just not my jam.
I
say that as I play Animal Crossing.
I was going to say.
Which doesn't have an end, but there is an end. You can get your island fully completed in the way you want it and set it up everything you want.
Yeah, it's
and finish collecting all the stuff.
So you do like dungeon crawls, just in a completely different way.
At my time without things attacking me.
Sure. All right.
And cute outfits or trash outfits where I wear a paper bag on my head.
Okay, so if a dungeon crawl had cute outfits, you'd be all over that.
I don't know, because I know some games have cute outfits, but I don't.
Anyways, we got off on a tangent. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you for listening to Faith-Filled Nerds, and thank you to Steve Rue for letting us use his jazz album for the opening and closing of our program. Please check out Steve Rue and his fantastic piano and jazz talent on his YouTube page and other formats. He's got albums and all kinds of stuff.
Some stuff on Amazon and other places. You can contact him. He does
commission work.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yep.
When he feels like it. Thank you for listening. And if you like what you hear, please consider leaving us a review, as it helps the podcast grow. What really helps the podcast grow is word of mouth, telling people what you're listening to, and if you liked it, specific episodes they could check out that you thought were worth listening to. That's really have to start at the beginning, because we're not like a continuity podcast. You can start wherever, honestly.
Yeah.
And And if you have any questions, any suggestions, any concerns, you can email me and John Mark at faithfillednerds@gmail.com. I will not be answering anything about feminism. Thank you very much. We are an opinion podcast, and while we do research, we encourage our listeners to take a look to them for themselves, explore their faith, and always remember that God loves you. And now for our out-of-context Bible verse. Ephesians 3:14. For this reason, I kneel before the Father.
I'm John Mark.
And I'm Michelle.
And in the words of the immortal Wolfwood, go with God.